O bhikkhus to learn the word of the Buddhas, each in his own dialect. So that has always been a source of comfort and inspiration to me, that of course the Buddha was not going to set up as one language as inherently holy or sacred, but to speak the language that will allow people to access the Dharma the most immediately. Right? So, and I think a lot of ink has been spilled, perhaps, on the whole question of what language did the Buddha speak. Right? And I guess looking in online, it seems, or hearing from different historical sources, it seems people put forward that he spoke Madagi Prakrit, right, which was the vernacular of the people of the time. But you know, the Buddha's time was really one of great linguistic diversity. And even today, according to a 2001 census, India has 122 major languages and 1,599 others. It's kind of inconceivable, you know, that there are a functioning democracy with this kind of linguistic diversity. So I found this article on Buddhist Sutras, Origin and Development by a Japanese writer named Kogen Mizuno. And in it, he points out that they found one of the edicts of Ashoka, right? So that was closer to the Buddha's time. It was carved in a different language in each of the 8 areas it was found. And each of these 8 languages correspond to the later 5 main languages used in Indian dramas of later periods. So I just want to read this little section. So he says, in those plays, one could identify a character's occupation and social status through the prescribed language he or she spoke. Kings, ministers, and Brahmins spoke Sanskrit, the most highly esteemed and inflected language. Queens, princesses, nuns, and courtesans spoke a graceful language called Shaura Seni. The general populace, such as merchants and artisans, spoke Magadhi, and the lower classes spoke Paishachi. My best guess is that the Buddha taught in whatever language was most helpful for his listener. And my favorite answer to that question, you know, what language did the Buddha teach in, comes from the Lamrim Chenmo. So I'm just going to read this section from it on the good qualities of the Buddha's speech. So Jason Kappa writes, reflect on the marvelous manner of the Buddha's speech. Even if every living being in the universe asks him a different question at the same time, he comprehends them all with one instant of his wisdom. Then he answers all the questions with a single word, which all beings understand in their own languages. The chapter of the Truth Speaker says, it is like this. If all living beings simultaneously ask questions using many different expressions, he understands them in a single moment, and with a single utterance gives answers to each. Therefore know that in the world the leader knows how to be eloquent. He turns the wheel of teaching that eradicates the suffering of deities and humans.